Welcome to the Good News Flower Hour, people. I'm your host, Dave Easy. The big news this week was the inauguration of the 44th President of the United States, when Barack Hussein Obama became the first person of color to assume the office. More than 2 million people weathered frigid temperatures to witness this historic event. Law enforcement officials report that not a single arrest was made. The new president hit the ground running in repudiating the excesses of the Bush administration, calling a halt to the controversial war crimes tribunals at Guantanamo Bay within hours of his inauguration. On his first full day in office, President Obama signed an executive order reversing Bush policy that allowed presidents to seal their papers in secrecy forever. Quote, "This is the earliest and probably the most emphatic call for more open government from any president," said Tim Blanton, executive director of the National Security Archive at George Washington University. The Bush administration issued its first directive in October of 2001, a memo by then Attorney General John Ashcroft that told federal bureaucrats in essence that if they had any reason to withhold records from the public, they should. Declaring a new era in Washington, President Obama said that openness and transparency would be the hallmark of his presidency, while also ordering a halt to the revolving door between government service and lobbying firms. On his second day in office, President Obama signed an executive order calling for the closing of Guantanamo Bay within a year, with corresponding executive orders that put an end to the CIA's Black Prison Program and the use of so-called enhanced interrogation techniques that are widely acknowledged to be nothing short of torture. In other news, a driver rammed his SUV into the front door of a Minnesota women's health clinic on Thursday, the anniversary of the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision. Mercifully, no one was injured, according to police. A 32-year-old man was arrested and taken to Ramsey County Jail on suspicion of aggravated assault. Planned Parenthood spokeswoman Kathy DiNicola said that when she arrived at the clinic, the man had gotten out of the SUV and was pacing around it, holding a crucifix and chanting. Quote, "He was agitated and he was saying, 'Shut down this Auschwitz,'" she said. Planned Parenthood officials note that no abortion services were ever actually performed at this facility at any time. Earlier this week, Australian maritime authorities rescued 2 Myanmar fishermen who survived almost a month at sea floating on a portable industrial icebox. The fishermen claimed to have survived on rainwater and fish regurgitated by birds while lost at sea for some 25 days. Quote, "The 2 big seabirds came and vomited some small fish, about 6 or 7 little fish, and that's all," one of the survivors told the newspaper through an interpreter. Lastly, as of Wednesday, January 21st, 2009, at least 4,229 members of the U.S. military have died in the Iraq War since it began in March of 2003, according to an official Associated Press count. Today's episode of the Good News Flower Hour was brought to you by the word change. Just go out and do it, people.